Look, you already know the answer. I can see it inside you. Extra large pile of udon noodles.
It didn't take long after its release in January of this year for Resident Alien to become one of the best comedic dramas in the history of the Syfy network. And with its intricate storyline and misfit cast of characters, it's no wonder that the franchise has been able to sway audiences, receiving an overall rating of 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. But who are the most hated and loved characters that have been introduced to us so far? And what makes them so delightful to watch? Well, whether you're a fan of this incredible piece of science fiction, or just want to know more about what everyone thinks about the characters it introduces, you've come to the right place, as we're about to rank them according to the court of public opinion. So strap yourselves in and get ready for an experience that is out of this world, as things are about to get exciting. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. A little more about Resident Alien. For those of you who have yet to take the leap and watch Resident Alien, we thought we'd spend just a little bit of time letting you know precisely what you can expect from the show. There are only 10 episodes connected to the first season of the franchise after all, so the hope is that you'll drop whatever you are watching and binge this science fiction masterpiece as soon as possible. It is definitely worth a watch. The comedic storyline takes place in the small town of Patience, Colorado, where a number of colorful characters reside. One of them is an alien who, after crash landing on Earth, has taken the form of the town doctor and intends on learning as much about the human race as possible. As the lead character, the viewer is able to see society through his alien eyes and laugh out loud at his attempts to recreate what he believes true human interactions to be. It's a classic fish-out-of-water tale where our resident alien is brought into the mysterious world of the Colorado town and asked, as the doctor, to investigate a slew of murders with the intention of discovering who the real serial killer may be. The only spanner in the works is that a 9-year-old boy is able to somehow see our leading character's true alien form. How is he able to do this? Who is murdering the townspeople of Patience? And what our resident alien's true intentions may be are all questions that the show looks to answer throughout its runtime, tackling all the issues in a humorous and intelligent manner. So do yourselves a favor and check out Resident Alien if you haven't yet, and then come back here to see where your favorite character lands on our ranking. Number 1. The Resident Alien. The very first character that we have to mention is our very own Resident Alien, who is brilliantly portrayed by the eccentric Alan Tudyk. Since his real name cannot be pronounced by the archaic languages that humans used to communicate with one another, we have no idea what to really call him, which is why the showrunners decided to refer to him as the Resident Alien. The other characters of the show, however, call him Harry Vanderspeigle, which is the name of the human he decided to kill and take the form of. This was necessary after our resident alien crash landed on Earth due to some or other technical issue with his ship. Although he has a grand total of around 342 children in his life, he has yet to disclose who his partner or partners are. In fact, since we don't know much about the reproductive cycle of whatever he is, we shouldn't even assume that he has a partner. All we really know is that his species has the ability to morph into the form of any other species, which is what he does with Harry Vanderspeigle, taking on his occupation as a doctor in an attempt to fit into the town of Patience. He then learns how to speak English by watching old reruns of Law & Order, which is why he gets incredibly excited after getting roped into a murder investigation as the doctor on the scene of the crimes. Although the entirety of the season is directed towards our resident alien finding his way back to his ship so that he can bring about the extinction of the human race, fans just can't help themselves from loving the creature due to his ingenious portrayal by Alan Tudyk. Watching him learn what he believes to be true human emotion and manners to be is comedy gold, which Alan pulls off seamlessly with his awkward demeanor and alien-like tendencies. What makes viewers really fall in love with his character is what happens after pretending to be human for a while. It appears that faking a smile is half the battle, as our resident alien begins to actually feel emotion for the first time in his life. This results in him acting incredibly protective towards Asa 12 Trees, as played by Sara Tomko, which is then shown in direct contradiction with him having no qualms about taking out the 9-year-old boy that can see his true form. Fans also love the resident alien for his blunt and often brutal honesty, which is usually uttered as a result of his unfamiliarity with human behavior and the nuances that different interactions bring with it. This little character trait is used as a means to say things that viewers have often been too afraid to say themselves, making them relate and feel connected to the character throughout his time on the screen. But more than anything, people love the resident alien because of the journey he has taken on. He goes from knowing nothing about humanity to truly feeling what it feels like to be human. Since this is a journey we've all been on throughout our lives, it's no wonder he feels so relatable to us. Regardless of why fans love him though, there's no doubt that they can't wait to see him again in the anticipated second season of the show. Number 2. Asta 12trees. Next up on our list of beloved Resident Alien characters is the one and only Asta 12trees, who is portrayed by the beautiful and talented Sara Tomko. As we said earlier, the Resident Alien comes to feel protective of Asta due to the fact that she feels familiar to him. In fact, she has always considered herself to be a bit of an outsider in the respect of the small town of Patience, telling the visitor that feeling human is something that is often quite alien to her. This is what causes our Resident Alien to relate to Asta, hinting at a bit of a love story as the episodes count down. What we also come to learn from Asta is that the town of Patience has a bit of an underbelly that she tries to save the youth of the town from. She knows this all too well, being the former wife of an abusive husband who often dealt with the hidden parts of the town that aren't as obvious from a surface value inspection. This is one of the qualities that really sets Asta apart from the rest of the characters on the show. She clearly fits into her surroundings, but feels like she belongs somewhere else, somewhere better. It's a thought that has bounced around a number of our minds, which makes her a very relatable character to watch. The fact that she survived the tyranny of her abusive husband is also something to marvel at, especially considering how connected Jimmy is to the underworld of Patience. In other words, Asta is considered to be a survivor and representation of what independent women can be after getting out of a poor relationship. She is a symbol and a role model to all of those people who have survived, or currently find themselves in a similar situation, being proof that they can make it on their own. Lastly, audience of the show found it endearing how Asta gave her daughter Jay up for adoption, knowing full well that her husband at the time would have beaten her when things went wrong. Giving your child up for adoption is not an easy thing to do, especially when you have love in your heart for that child like she does. In fact, Asta goes as far as to keep watch over her daughter, who works in the clinic as an intern. It's a little bit heartbreaking when you really think about it, but knowing that this was the only option makes viewers see the decision as something that was not only difficult, but in the best interest of Jay. In other words, we love Asta because she's the quintessential good person who ended up in a terrible situation. Number 3. Isabel Vanderspeigle. Then we have Isabel Vanderspeigle, who is expertly played by an actress known commonly as Levi. She is, simply put, one of those characters that fans really don't know how to feel about. Essentially, she is married to Harry Vanderspeigle, who decided to run from the divorce and hide in his cabin, where he is then killed and morphed into by our resident alien. When the form of Harry then enters her life once more, she goes on a tangent regarding how he has stonewalled the lawyers and should sign the divorce papers immediately. To her surprise, our resident alien does so and moves on with his life. Although she has now gotten what she truly wanted, she remains at home and ends up falling in love with the fake Harry all over again. After spending some quality time together, she starts to annoy him though, so he drugs her with both medicine and alcohol. Throughout the duration of the relationship together, she never once realizes what our resident alien actually is, which is summed up perfectly by him telling Asta that she only sees what she wants to. Although she is far from everyone's favorite character, she is definitely a reminder of the person we don't want to be in life. Number 4. Lisa Casper. Last up on our list, we have Lisa Casper, who is played by the mesmerizing Mandel Morgan. And although she is last on our list and can be said to occupy the place of most hated character on the show, this is only due to the fact that all of the other characters are incredible. People have come to hate Lisa for the same reason that anyone comes to hate an antagonist of a story. Simply put, she wants to find the resident alien and discover what nefarious purposes he has come to Earth for. From a different perspective, she can be seen as a bit of a hero, but since we all love Tudyk, there's no way we'd want her to succeed. Other than this, she's one of the most boring characters, but it must be said that we expect a lot more when the second season of the show comes along. So, what did you think of our ranked list? Be sure to let us know in the comments section down below.